This is a regular meeting of the City of Callaway Board of Commissioners. It is Tuesday, April 28th, 2026. It's 6 p.m. If y'all will stand with me, Commissioner Pelletier, will you do the invocation? And Commissioner Ayers, can you lead us in the pledge?
Lord, we thank you for allowing us to gather today, and we pray for your guidance in making decisions for our city and citizens. We thank you for our first responders, and we ask them you bless them and their families. Please keep them safe and let them go home at the end of their shift. We thank you for our citizens and employees that make Callaway a great place to be, and pray you bless them with peace and success. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
City Clerk, please do a roll call.
Commissioner Birdsell.
Present.
Commissioner Grace.
Here.
Commissioner Pelletier.
Here.
Commissioner Ayers.
Here, ma'am.
Mayor Henderson.
Here. Okay, we've got one proclamation tonight, and our Natalie Payson and Catherine Anderson here. Okay, both of you are here, that's good. Okay, I'll go ahead and read this and then I'll present to the City of Callaway proclamation. Whereas the Fair Housing Act, enacted on April 11th, 1968, enshrined into federal law the goal of eliminating racial segregation and ending housing discrimination in the United States. And whereas the Fair Housing Act prohibits discrimination in housing based on race, color, religion, sex, familial status, national origin, and disability, and commits recipients of federal funding to affirmatively further fair housing in their communities. And whereas the City of Callaway is committed to the mission and intent of Congress to provide fair and equal housing opportunities for all, and whereas our social fabric, the economy, health, and environment are strengthened in diverse, inclusive communities, and whereas more than 50 years after the passage of the Fair Housing Act, discrimination persists and many communities remain segregated. And whereas the acts of housing discrimination and barriers to equal housing opportunity are repugnant to a common sense of decency and fairness, now therefore be it proclaimed, I, Pam Henderson, Mayor of the City of Callaway, Florida, do hereby proclaim April 26th to be Fair Housing Month. So we'll present this to you two ladies and see if we take a picture. Thank you so much for coming to the meeting.
Thank you so much.
Hey, it's April, so we're back to doing our Yard of the Month presentation. Are Lisa and James Clausen here by any chance? If not, okay. Well, we are presenting them with Yard of the Month. I just wanted to read what the person that submitted their house for the award, they said, we would like to nominate a house in our neighborhood for Yard of the Month. This house is always expertly manicured by the owner, not a yard service. The owner puts a lot of time into the yard, flower beds, and native grasses around them. The bushes, crepe myrtles, and other trees are pruned and well kept. The address is 6132 Imperial Drive, and the picture he said it is a beautiful yard. So we present the Yard of the Month certificate to Lisa and James Clausen, and there will be a sign that will be delivered to their house that they can put in their yard to show everybody that they had the Yard of the Month for April.
I don't think they'll want to mess up the grass, though.
Well, maybe not. Okay, and that takes care of our presentations. So are there any additions or deletions to the agenda?
No.
No? Okay. So public participation for anybody that's not been here before. You can speak on any of the items during the regular agenda. So all you have to do when I call for public participation, indicate that you want to speak. When you're recognized, come up to the podium, state your name and address for the record if you choose to, and then you have 3 minutes to speak on the agenda item. You can speak on all of them if you want to, 3 minutes at a time. And then at the end of the meeting, if there's something you wanted to bring up that was not on the agenda, same process, just let me know that you want to speak. You know, when you're recognized, come to the podium, state your name and address, and go ahead and talk for 3 minutes about whatever was not on the agenda that you wanted to talk about. So we will go on to the approval of minutes. We've got the minutes of the regular meeting of April 14th, 2026. Did anybody have any changes or comments on the minutes?
I did, this morning I realized on the first item under regular agenda, I had it listed as ordinance 1142. It was supposed to be ordinance 1143. So I have corrected those in the official.
Okay. Anything else, anybody? If not, I'd entertain a motion.
Motion to approve the minutes.
Second. As amended.
Yes. We've got a motion and a second, so if there's no further discussion, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. The financial statements are there for your reading pleasure. And we will go on to our regular agenda items. Item number 1, ordinance 1142, requiring communication provider to provide registration. City Attorney.
Ordinance number 1142, an ordinance of the City of Callaway, Florida, amending Chapter 14, Article 1, Section 14-3 of the city's Code of Ordinances, repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict, providing for severability, scrivener's errors, liberal interpretation, modifications, codification, and providing for an effective date. This ordinance requires registration of communication services providers with the city.
Okay, City Manager.
It's pretty simple. We can't really regulate them. They're not allowed to be charged permit fees or anything else, but this is going to require them to register with us, give us their timeframes, their schedules, their locations, so that we can be better informed and let them know what projects are going within the city that would affect their situation. So it's really just a way for us to make sure that before they come in and start digging, they're talking to the city.
Well, and that'll be good. I know I've had citizens say, why didn't the city let us know what they were doing in the right-of-way in front of my house? And I'm like, we don't know. They have easements, they can come in and do, and they don't have to check with us. So this will be good that at least they have to let you know, we're going to be doing this in this neighborhood.
I have a question. Why didn't we do this a year ago when we were talking and Attorney Obo says that we needed to put it in a contract? So what changed from what he stated a while back?
What contract?
Well, I was talking about, Florida Power, and all these other contracts that we have out there, and it's about included in the contract. So what changed from what he said then to now?
You would have to ask Kevin. This has been an issue that we've talked about multiple times. Bill, if you want to get up and speak, you're welcome to also.
I mean, you should have done it a long time ago.
I don't know that this, are we going to try to get FPL to?
Well, this is specifically for communications providers.
Just calm. Have nothing to do with FPL, TICO, anybody else.
It's specific to
From what I
telecom.
understand, no.
Okay, all right,
But we have a new provider coming.
right,
That's what sparked the ordinance.
okay, all right.
Anybody else have questions? No? Did anybody in the audience want to comment? Yes, ma'am.
Teresa Langston, 6031 Lance Street. I'm curious, since we have a new one, do we know what company it is? I'm sure y'all know what company it is, but I don't know if it's out to the public yet. And sort of like with the issue with Tico and stuff, of not knowing where the lines are, they gonna be required to tell you where they're running lines? So in the case we have to do major work like Cherry Street again, we know where the lines are at, and is there anything to protect the city from delays, so when we have work like Cherry Street, against the company, to move the lines or, do something with the lines if we need to do work there. I know there was a lot of delays with Tico and going back and forth, and so I know y'all have talked about doing things to rectify that situation happening again, so I just want to know are we going to do that with this company?
This is strictly communication, and their lines will be easily to be found, more so than underground gas lines that we
Plus,
just
they
kind
have
of
to do
guess.
locates.
And
It's a
we-
requirement to do locates before you dig, so.
And so, I mean, it's just a way that, and about the name of the company, it's Clearwave, isn't that right, Bill?
Clearwave Fiber.
It's called Clearwave Fiber. And so, and they've actually, they've been very transparent. They've met with us on multiple occasions, letting us know what their plans are and what they're wanting to do and how they're going to go about it. So we're very fortunate because we have had some companies that have come in that have not told us. And so this actually wasn't designed to be directed to Clearwave. It's just really for the future whenever we have companies come in that don't.
Well, right, because I know we were having problems with AT&T and all that stuff too, with their lines, moving things. And I just think that the city should protect itself.
I will say that the Florida statutes don't give a lot of authority to cities when it comes to telecommunications. The telecommunications lobby is very strong, and so they can do anything they want in the right-of-way, generally without having to coordinate or get the consent of the local government. So this does implement some of the little authority we do
Right.
have to at least know who a contact person is that we can reach out to and try and get notice, put them on notice, and coordinate with them.
Okay.
It's not
I
a
mean,
perfect
I know-
solution, and it doesn't provide protection, but it's a tool.
I mean, I know we just had some issues with AT&T, with, Tico and all that stuff, and, we kind of went around the block for quite a while, causing delays, costing money and stuff, so just wanted to make sure. Thank you.
Thank you. Do anybody else want to speak?
I have a quick question. Are they going to pay us a franchise fee?
No.
No. Okay.
Anyone else?
Do they pay taxes?
I'm gonna say, I
imagine.
think yes.
Okay. Thanks.
Ed, and I know that this got sparked by the new company, but will this affect all telecommunications? WOW, Comcast, AT&T, all those, will all of them that have already been providing service have to register to continue?
They should. And it's not so much the registration because they're already here. It's just about communication, and we can force them into that communication of, hey, you're gonna be working somewhere, could you let us know? And minor repairs and stuff like that, of course, is not gonna be something that's gonna be covered. This is when they're coming in and they're putting in new. Or if they're gonna move.
Anyone else up here? Any questions? Would someone like to make a motion?
Motion to approve ordinance 1142 requiring communications provider to provide registration.
Second.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? If not, City Clerk?
Commissioner Bartzel?
Yes.
Commissioner Drake?
Yes.
Commissioner Pelletier?
Yes.
Commissioner Ayers?
Yes, ma'am.
Mayor Henderson?
Yes. Okay, now we'll go on to agenda item number 2, Cherry Street Sidewalk, South Side, lap, change order number 1.
Okay, this
City
one,
manager.
yeah, this is the holdover from the last meeting. I got a whole myriad of people out here on this one. So we have Jordan from American Sand. They're the ones that's requesting the change order. We have Elizabeth and Eddie Lewis, Elizabeth Graham and Eddie Lewis. They're from DRMP, which is the CEI, well, kind of the CEI. And then also we got Donald Stanley, who is the CEI, correct? I got it right now? Because you move around so much.
Yes,
So,
sir. Yes, the Cherry Street lap project is the change order that we're on right now for the agenda item. I believe it was presented at the last commission meeting, and there's some questions regarding it, and that's why myself has come tonight, along with Jordan Kell with American Sand, to answer any questions.
So the biggest thing that came up for the last time is, and we're kind of fortunate, because Donald was actually, at the time, didn't you present for the change order for the center section?
I did.
And so now, he's over and he's running, gonna be doing the lap projects part of it, so, and I had talked with Jordan about this. They use standard language, but the question came up that there was labor increases involved in this.
Yes, sir. I can't answer that because that language was in American Sand's proposal to me, and I looked at what change order requests they did, and I requested some backup information in regards to material price changes in the last 1,000+ days to evaluate that for reasonableness, and compared the material increase with what they were requesting by line item. To whether or not there's labor included in that, I can't speak to that. That would have to be Jordan here.
To answer it, that would be no. I'm Jordan Kell with American Sand, Operations Manager. No, labor is not included in that change order. That's just a standard template that we use for all change orders. It was just something that we missed. It was just a, it was a clerical error necessarily, so.
So it's material on.
It's material only. We provide documentation to show those, the invoices of the increase from 2022 to 2025.
So when you say demolition of driveway turnout,
Yes.
that's not labor?
No, so what we would equate that to would be operational cost of equipment. The rising cost of equipment, fuel, grease, everything else like that. And we just went line by line and figured out what from 2022 dates to 2025 dates, what has risen in our actual day-to-day operational cost of equipment.
How did the type F curb and gutter increase so much?
Because whenever you're laying a run-up pipe, the original alignment versus the new alignment is different, so it involves us having to pour throats, and that it increases like the amount of concrete used and sometimes the amount of pipe.
The sub cost for that increased 41% from the information they provided us. I'm sorry, $41 a foot.
And that's, what was it before?
It went from $16 to $57. Yeah, over that
Yeah, that's
1,000+ days.
300% increase.
Yeah.
Okay. And did that affect the concrete pour itself also? Because it jumped up there too.
It did,
Yeah,
yes, sir. The material cost increase was $43 a yard on the concrete.
On the graded aggregate base, isn't that part of the road that's already there? Are you chopping that up and putting it down as aggregate?
So no, it's not. It's completely different, sir.
So you have to bring it in?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
There's a graded aggregate base also being placed under the sidewalk portion on the lap project as well.
Okay.
Yeah,
It is the same material, it's just extended beyond that up under the sidewalk.
That's it.
You have a question?
What caused a change in alignment? Why? You talk about there's a change in alignment. What caused that?
It would be essentially where the grading has to be, trying to think how I explain
Are we
it.
talking an engineer issue here, or?
I'm not exactly sure I would call it an engineering issue, sir.
Well, we bid the project, right, and we knew what the project requirements were, so I'm trying to figure out what changed from the time the bid was out and the requirement. Who made the decision to change it And why?
That would just be the changes from the original contract to lap.
And City Attorney, since this is a lap project and it's over 25%, shouldn't it been discussed prior to the work being done?
I don't know the answer to that.
Well, the work hadn't been done yet, right?
The work has been, they're just about done.
No,
Different sidewalk.
Different sidewalk.
That's a separate site, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That sidewalk's complete.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It's over with, it's closed out.
This is the other side.
This is Cherry Street itself.
Right, yeah,
The south side.
Right.
Which we received, I think it was $1 million in lap funding.
right.
Yeah, I think we've completed like 9% of the project to date. And
Really hadn't done much on the sidewalk at all.
honestly, the only reason that 9% was even done because I had to do that section to continue forward with drainage improvements. So it was just like excavation.
So we don't know why the change being, the alignment change.
No, sir, to answer your question, I don't know why it changed.
That was before my time, but just to interject here, what he was referencing was on the type F curb alignment, and the price differential that I was given was sub quotes on different projects, if that helps at all. So it was not regarding any alignment change, that's just the actual increase of curb cost.
if you could just pass that information back to Eddie, and he can just let us know what's going on.
So no, it's not a redesign or anything like that. This is the same original design. This is just,
No, sir, this
it's
is,
just the type of curve.
this is hard cost from 1,000 days difference in bid and actual going to construction.
Gotcha. Thanks for coming in.
Absolutely.
You good, Bob?
Don't like it, but yeah.
Anybody, y'all have any questions? No? Anybody in the audience want to comment on this?
Teresa Lakeson, 6031 Lance Street. So before the change, for the increase in the cost, was this supposed to be 100% covered by the grant, or was it supposed to cost us some money?
Yeah, it was, we only had $1 million and that wasn't gonna cover a 1.5 mile sidewalk. This was just the most funding that we could get. We did send a request to the state for increased funding, but we're already maxed out, so.
All right, so how much are we looking that this sidewalk is gonna cost us, not including, I guess, not including the funding part? That's gonna come out of our pockets.
That'll be an Ashley question on what the bid was on the lap sidewalk portion.
I would have to go back and
That's a
look
little bit
at
over a
that,
million,
because that was
if
a couple of years, that was several years ago.
Yeah.
It's the 0.5% sales tax, correct? 0.5% sales tax, it would pay this?
Yeah, it would come out of infrastructure. Yeah, it would come out of infrastructure. I don't know what the bids were for that.
Well, it's got to be over what we've
It's over
got.
$1 million. Yeah, it's
In other words,
Yeah, it was well over $1 million.
our cost at this point out of infrastructure is $450,000, so it doesn't really matter at this point. Well, it matters what the original lap grant was. But our cost now, it should have been, that lap should have funded that entire sidewalk. And now, we're having to take $450,000 out of infrastructure. And
Actually,
we've
you're
got,
looking-
you know, we've got streets that are not being paved, on and on and on.
Ashley's gonna try to find out what the contract amount was for the sidewalk portion.
Right.
Because it was bid separately.
Okay,
So
so
this-
that's what I just wanted to clarify. So coming out of our pocket would be the 451,000.
That is correct.
Well, the
Change.
original contract price is right here on the previous.
Yeah,
on
the
back
2 million.
So is it on there?
Yes.
So the original contract, oh, no. They have all the information. The original contract price was $2,073,200.
Right.
And of that, $1 million was gonna be lap. So that would've put $1 million coming out of the half cent. Now it's gonna increase to $1.4 million.
Okay. And that's not if we don't have any changes, any additional changes or
That's correct.
anything, that comes up, because normally, when we do projects, we have more than one change.
And this is a huge project, so there's going to be more changes, I'm sure.
Well, right, and I understand that, but, I mean, if we always seem to go into a project at one price, and then somehow, we're spending $1,800,000 extra, and it don't matter what we do, I mean,
Like
it
you
really doesn't matter what we do.
It's a nature.
Days that they put the bid out, so it's almost 3 years.
Anybody else? Not seeing anybody. Anybody up here have anything else? Or is somebody ready to make a motion?
Motion to approve this Cherry Street sidewalk, south side lap, change order number 1.
Second.
Everyone's trying to get in on the act.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got a motion and seconds. So if there is no further discussion, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Nay.
Okay, we'll go on to agenda item number 3, task order TM increase Cherry Street drainage and resurfacing. City manager.
All right, Gabe, you're up. BDI is the EOR, the engineer of record for the Cherry Street. And as y'all know, as we keep digging in the ground, we keep finding more stuff. We keep having to use our, unfortunately, it's going to be more time and more effort on the engineers to come up with solutions and stuff like this. So we had a task order increase before. We've pretty much ran out, and we're only, like you said, 9% into the project. And every day we're finding conflicts and all sorts of stuff. So BDI has requested basically an increase in their task order by $50,000, which will be time and materials only, to continue engineering the project as we continue to find issues. We're digging in ground that hadn't been dug in 70 years.
I'm Gabriel McAfee with Bashful Donovan. So, like Eddie mentioned, this is just a not-to-exceed amount. So I can guarantee you're going to get more hours out of me than I'm going to charge for. But as you mentioned, and as written in the agenda item there, anytime you get to digging, there's unknowns. And so we've had a lot of those, as you're well aware, on Cherry Street. And so we're doing our best to continue to stay as a valuable asset to the team, trying to complete this project. I know that Mr. Wilson can attest that we've spent a lot of time coordinating with utilities on different conflicts. Mr. Jordan and American Sand has been a great working together with us to try and mitigate those costs and time delays. So this is just to continue to keep us going along with the team. Are there any questions that I can answer?
Anybody have
Well,
any?
you're saying this is a not to exceed?
Not to exceed, so it's only for...
Well, the way the
time.
project's been going, we've had exceeded.
But we only use them as required.
Okay.
I mean, that's the way it works.
Yeah, I don't just use this as an excuse to get out of the office or anything like that. This is when I spend time working with Mr. Thomas. That's all that we charge for. Revising the drawing set, TICO has a new work order that we need to review to make sure that we clear conflicts on the western portion of the project. So there are several outstanding items that we need to work through.
So realistically, this is not to exceed at this time.
Right.
It's not to exceed, or I've got to come back, or
Yeah, they have
we'll
to
have
come
to put
back.
another agenda item on that.
This is a project that's actually going now, whereas this started back in October of '20. So after the last 5.5 years, we finally got going. So, one could hope that we're not going to keep dragging it out where prices cost more for materials, more time.
Yeah, I just want to say one thing. You guys have all been hustling. I've been by the site several times a week, and you're always moving and working as hard as you can out there. I personally, as a commissioner, I think everyone else up here appreciate your effort, and please continue to do that.
Yep. Anybody else have a question, comment?
I expect it.
Yeah. Bob.
Anybody else?
No, ma'am.
Anybody in the audience want to comment or on this item?
Thank you.
Thank you. I don't see anybody. So we're ready for a motion.
Motion to approve the EOR task order, T&M increase for the Cherry Street drainage and resurfacing.
Not to exceed 50.
Not to exceed 50,000.
Second.
Okay, so we've got a motion and a second. Is there any more discussion? If not, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. We will go on now to agenda item number 4, Cherry Street Drainage and Resurfacing, change order number 3.
This has to do with subsoils, so I'm going to let Elizabeth from DRMP, who's the CEO on the project, and Jordan from American Sand explain what's going on in this particular area.
All right, Elizabeth Graham with DRMP at SBE. In this area for the Cherry Street drainage and reconstruction, they went to go start excavating to install the graded aggregate base. When doing so, the road was pumping. This was an unforeseen condition. So you cannot place the graded aggregate base on top of soil that is pumping. You can visibly see it. So the geotech presented a solution to put GeoGrid down. This is the solution between Comet and Jan for $145,000.
And that was also including over excavated 16 inches
Yes.
material out of the additional.
And 2 layers of GeoGrid.
And what she means by pumping is like walking across a mattress.
It's like walking on a water mattress.
Yeah, it looks just like a wood pit, exactly.
Yeah.
I will say that we
It's
went
amazing.
ahead and, just as a precautionary measure, we had the geotech go back out and redo sampling all the way from Bertha to Jan, and we got that report actually about 5 o'clock today. And I sent it on to y'all. And so, you know, as much as, like I said, once again, we're digging and we don't know what we're getting into down there, this particular situation. We're hoping it's going to be isolated to right here, and the geotech seems to believe that that's going to be the issue, that it's just going to be this area. Not quite sure about Jan Drive going west up the hill a little bit to the BP or something like that. But as far as right now, we're hoping this is just going to be isolated to this area.
When they did the core samples, how far apart are they spaced? I mean, I know a sample you don't do every foot or anything, but how far apart and how deep are we doing?
Typically every 50 to 100.
Okay.
I think that we're doing like 100 feet apart.
And surprisingly enough, and I have the report, I'll be more than happy to send it out to everybody. It's massive, but there has not been a lot of changes. It's just this particular area's got some weird,
Got some heavy clay sand,
some heavy
high
things in it.
plasticity.
You know, I could speculate personally and say, I hope it's just gonna stay in this area, because that's where we had to over excavate for all that drainage, and all that drainage has been sitting in the ground for that long, so hopefully this will be the only area where we crossed and went between the houses. Probably shouldn't have started there, Jordan.
Got to start at the lowest point.
I know.
Well, I think we're lucky to find it when we did, but, you know, we've been dry for what, 4 or 5 weeks or
Yeah,
more now?
and it's still pumping.
And it's still doing that, so. Do you have to put a base down and everything before you put the mat over it? Is this a mat? Is that what we're talking?
It's a GeoGrid fabric. You do not have to. So they'll over excavate 16 inches, put that GeoGrid, and then put 16 inches of clean fill in, and then put another GeoGrid and then put the graded aggregate base on top of that.
Will this still be the lowest place after you finish? Or will it be?
As far as inverts of pipe, yes, it will be the lowest place. When I said that, that was referring to the inverts of the pipe that are underneath the ground, not the
Not the
not
gravel.
the roadway itself. You'll have high points and low points throughout the entire course of the road, the way water drains off the road.
Anyone else up here have any question or comment? No?
I'm gonna make a comment since you're up, but you stuck with this for 4, 5, 6 years, very honestly, from the original bid, and we knew, realistically, there were gonna be some changes. But I certainly want to compliment American Sand and your team for sticking with us,
Thank you, sir.
because it could have gotten, and you had every option to back out of the whole thing, and we appreciate you sticking with us, because there were a lot of dollars. If you left, there would be a lot of dollars that we would be facing.
A
if
lot
you
more
had
than
not.
these change orders we've done.
Yeah, change orders are cheap from what it would have been if you'd backed out, so, thank you.
I appreciate all y'all as well. Thank you.
Anybody else up here have anything? Anybody in the audience want to comment on the change order for the drainage and resurfacing? Yes, ma'am. You just need to stand up here.
This one.
I'm just curious tonight. Teresa Langston, 6031 Lance Street. So this change order only covers between Comet and Jan Drive, correct? All right, so you said that we did soil testing for different areas. How long will it be before we get those results, or do we know?
That's the report I received today. It went from Bertha to Jan. And as Elizabeth, did you have time to look over that at all?
I have not to really dig deep into it.
I mean-
I did read that the geotech said that his findings did relate to the original findings, other than this one area. There was higher moisture in the area. That's all I was able to read onto.
Yeah.
It is thicker than this part that we have here, so.
Okay, well, I didn't know if it was just gonna be one of those things of, yeah, we tested the soil, but we're not gonna know until we dig a hole. You know what I mean?
Well,
See
we
what's
wanted,
down there.
you can only tell so much. They take a core sample and then they pull it out and they go have the soil tested to see what's in it. This particular area just had, what do they call it, high level of plastics, clay?
High level plastic, and it's high liquid limits.
I repeat stuff real well, I mean, I know what I'm talking about when it comes to to that stuff. But it did say this area was a lot more moist than it was. I'm gonna assume that has a lot to do with, like I said, this is the low point where we're digging deep and doing everything. That's only a personal opinion. But the rest of the area that he tested, he said it tested about the same. And so, I can go out on a limb, and I'll say this because it's his opinion, it's not mine or anybody else's, that this is going to be a localized event.
Okay.
But if it's not, we'll be coming back going, we gotta put GeoGrid down.
All right, because I was just wondering, is this something that they do, like soil samples before they start actually a project, or is it something that you just dig a hole and go, well?
No, they
We
did
gotta deal with this mess.
sampling before, and that's why we actually, I had them go back and do it again in these particular areas. And samples matched up, except for this one area. They just showed a little, what did they say, a little bit higher clay and a little bit higher moisture, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
One more.
Yes, sir?
Martin Vossler, 6303 Wallace Road. I'm going to try to be really nice, but I'm not in a good mood. These are not people that are here as a nonprofit. So when we have people sitting up here and saying, oh, we love how good a job you're doing a job that we're paying for. Your good job is your paycheck. So when people come up here, and I really don't want to be mean, and I know I'm not supposed to address them, I'm just scratching the itch. When you come up here and say you're working harder for the amount of hours you get, I don't give a crap about that. Do your dang job. Get it right the first time. Simple.
I'm gonna make a comment, because I'm commenting them and complimenting them. We were looking at 10 million with them. Without them, we were looking at 16 million, and we would still had all this other that's coming in now. So yeah, I'm gonna compliment them today, tomorrow, and the next day
Hey,
for
Commissioner,
sticking with us.
by the time we're done, we're gonna be at 16 million.
Well, the bid at 16 million wouldn't have been any different, so what we'd be talking about is another 6 million on top of the 16.
Maybe 20.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. So, I'll keep complimenting him.
Did anybody else want to speak? Anybody else in the audience? I don't see anybody.
One more question for me,
Yes,
ma'am. So I know we have the one spot that is testing bad. When we say that they're gonna lay the geogrid from Bertha back to Jan,
From Jan to Larry.
No, from Jan to Coleman.
Which one is it?
Jan to Larry?
Jandelary.
Okay.
so it's from Jan to Larry is where the geogrid, that doesn't mean the whole area is bad. Is that just overlap to ensure that you're capturing everything?
Yeah, it's from curb pad to curb pad, so it'd be 5 foot outside of the curb line each way. Everywhere that there's rock in place.
Which is under the sidewalk.
Any more questions?
Just that it's written on the change order from Comet to Jan. So is it Comet or is it Larry?
Yeah, that's what I had heard before was going to Jan.
Probably falls under that category, they don't know what changed.
From the email that I sent them to get this quote, it was from Jan to Larry.
It is Larry, so the typo on that's me.
So it's Larry to Jan?
Larry to Jan.
Larry to Jan.
Okay.
My bad, I put comment. Because that was the day they were working on comment.
Yeah, my proposal doesn't say.
If I'm right, isn't Comet and Larry like,
They're right next to each
they're like 15 foot apart? I think they're like this big, so how about right in the middle? They're almost straight across from each other.
Okay, any other questions? Anybody? Or is somebody ready to make a motion?
Motion to approve Cherry Street drainage and resurfacing change order number 3 with correction.
Second.
Is there any other discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. We will go on to item number 5, variance from the City of Callaway Code of Ordinances. City manager.
Thank God, Mr. Fry.
All right, so Mr. Jerry Steele has applied for a variance for his property. If you'll remember, they came in and got a rezoning to get this property in line for their development. Some nice new houses they're planning on putting over there at 406 Bob Little Road. He has got Sean McNeil with McNeil Carroll Engineering working on a design, and they've come up with an idea that they would like to not have to do the 5% requirement for open space. Sean McNeil and Mr. Steele are here tonight, so I think it'd be better if we let them, Sean, do you mind?
Do you want to kind of explain what it is you're looking at doing instead?
Yes, ma'am. One moment, please. I can pass these out. I think y'all probably know that the property's hot. If you would take 2 sheets and pass them out, I appreciate it. I'll start the other one over there. Thanks. 2 sheets each. But this is just an aerial of the property. I think there's tables. That'd be a little easier for you. My name is Sean McNeil with McNeil Carroll Engineering, 475 Harrison Avenue, Panama City, Florida. Yes, I'm here representing Panhandle Construction Services Group, Mr. Jerry Steele. We are planning to put in a subdivision, a 33-lot subdivision at the corner of 4th Street and Bob Little Road. The address is 406 Bob Little Road. What I've handed you in the Word format form is the standard review in your code, requiring, you'll go through the standard review with regard to granting the variance and will not cause any adverse impacts to the city or their neighboring properties. So what we're asking for is relief from your 5%, basically neighborhood, park, or open space. The ditch system that is on this property already has about 9.8% of the property encumbered. So the request is to essentially trade that 9.8% of the property for the 5% required, and then grant easements to the city for maintenance of those of that ditch. If you would look at the property, you'll see that on the south side at the 4th Street, you'll see that there's two ditches that intersect the ditch that's coming basically from Seneca and Camellia and other properties to it. There's a pretty good drainage area that's coming through there and going through the park. There's a Parker, the park that Parker owns there in Springfield, thank you. So with that, essentially the request is we can't, because the ditch is right in the middle of the property, not right in the middle, but it's, intersects the property, we have to keep it flowing, or we back it up, or we have to reroute it on the property that wouldn't flow appropriately. So we're going to move it a little bit to the north, so it's a little more in line with the subdivision, proposed subdivision that we're doing. And that subdivision is on that third sheet of this handout I gave you. So if you take a look at it, this is the proposed subdivision. There'll be a cul-de-sac off of Bob Little Road, and we'll use 4th Street to put the lots along on the south side of the property. So essentially our request is that the city has been utilizing the property for stormwater runoff. There is no easements the city has, and that we would like the city to say, okay, we'll trade the open space or neighborhood park requirement for this 9.8% of property that's encumbered on here. So I will address any questions you may have. I hope I explained that well enough.
I knew this was going to come back.
What does the blue represent on your drawing?
The blue, the hatch blue is the ditch easement. The dark blue are the stormwater, will be the stormwater for either side of the subdivision.
Okay, so you're going to move it over to there?
Yes, sir.
So all the area in between the ditch now and the road, that's going to be housing now?
Yes, sir. You see the lots lined up there. Yes, sir.
Gotcha.
And if you look back at the aerial, you'll see those ditches. We plan to pipe along the East 4th Street to capture the stormwater coming from that direction, from the south, to divert it into the Bob Little Road right of way and down the ditch along that.
Yeah, we were out there today looking this over.
This is an unusual piece of property,
Yes, sir.
and 6-7 years ago, when somebody else was trying to do something with it, the issue is the ditch. And the ditch is part of the stormwater system of Callaway, whether we got a right-of-way on it or not. It's going through that property. Part of the issue that I have with this is if you have a subdivision, or you have a subdivision, and you have a stormwater pond, for example, in that subdivision, that pond cannot be included as the recreational area.
That is correct.
That's well stated in our ordinances. So basically, what you're asking us to do is take a stormwater ditch, and that's going to be part of we're getting the stormwater ditch, but that's going to be the recreational area
Well, there won't be a recreational area.
There won't be a recreational area.
Essentially, yes, sir.
And that's contrary to what we're trying to do with all the developments, is have the recreational areas.
Right, thank you.
Now, we've had other properties that have the ditches going through it, and what they've done is have built bridges across the ditches and had walkways and all that, just as common ground, but not as part of the recreational area.
Well, I can't speak to that, but I would have to know what you're speaking of directly. Was that ditch already on the property? Was Callaway using this? I mean, Callaway is benefited from these ditches along this property.
Yeah, but the ditch was there when whoever, that's, just because somebody bought the property, that doesn't mean that stormwater doesn't stop going through it. It's just.
It will when we redesign it. So we have to redesign that ditch as well.
Yeah, if you redesign it, but you're already taking that stormwater.
So the appeal is essentially that, hey, we believe we're doing a lot of work for the city of Callaway, that's benefiting the Callaway, and the relief is 5% of the property doesn't have to go into open space or to recreational parks, or neighborhood parks, excuse me.
So you're going to have a development with no recreational park?
We will have a development, and we could put a walkway down the ditch. I mean, I don't think that's somewhere we want to be. I mean, we can do that, but I think it would not look so good, and it also put some people in peril.
That's right.
Yes.
But we want activity in the development. If you don't have the activity there, then somewhere down the line, we're going to have to build a park somewhere to take care of that activity.
Yes, sir. Well, the variance request is because of this property being so unique and having topographical issues, as it states in your variance standards of review. And I've identified on this piece of paper.
So how many lots would you have to sacrifice to meet the requirement? Two lots. And I think what Commissioner Griggs is trying to say, that either way, we're going to maintain that ditch if that's what we do normally. So it doesn't benefit us one way or another, whether you move it or not. I understand what Commissioner Griggs is saying, but right across the street, there's a huge recreational area.
Yes.
And I would think that could help.
That's not what our requirement.
That's not what the requirement is for the development.
We changed that on purpose because of what was happening. There was a purpose why we changed the requirement.
Who maintains the ditch right now?
We do.
We do.
And we would in the future unless you took it and took care of it yourself, but eventually you move on and we'd be taking care of it anyway, so.
I don't support this at all for the simple fact, I don't care if it's right across the street. The issue is that we changed the LDR for a purpose, so these kids will have a place to go, not cross the street, or go down the street, or go down a mile, and now all of a sudden, here we are. I knew this was going to happen when all this started a while back, but I don't support it.
If I may.
Yeah.
If I may. Land Development Code also gives relief for properties like that, because you have Land Development Code that shows that gives you relief with the variance requests and appeals. So your Land Development Code is being followed.
I think you just have to build it the way, by what our requirements are and whatever it be, like I said, I don't support changing and giving a variance personally. That's my vote, is no.
You're moving the ditch, and that's fine, but you're not moving it because of the recreational area. You're moving it so you can fit the lots in that otherwise you would not be able to fit the lots in that you're actually planning, whether or not you lose one or lose two lots due to the recreation.
Well, yes, I understand your point, but I would argue that, well, not argue, but I would suggest that if you're looking at this property, and this property had these ditches on it, there was no reason for those ditches on the south side, zero. There was no really much reason for the one intersecting the property. It was just, I don't know why, but somehow someone was allowed to put a ditch across there, and no one really secured their rights to enter that property. I understand prescriptive rights, but in a sense, the city of Callaway just used this property and was benefiting for many, many years because of it. And it's now encumbering the property to do a better development, in my opinion, without this neighborhood park.
Well, neighborhood park is part of the development
Right.
of the neighborhood.
Thank you.
I understand.
And that's
That was
That's
understood.
really, that's really, we can't compromise on that. And we're also not, don't want the ditch to become the playground of the kids, you know. We've had 16 inches of rain in 3 days here, you know, before.
Well,
This is not California.
Yes, we don't want to design for that either, though.
No.
But you have to design to it the standards of what the city is presenting. I think we've done this. Jerry, would you like to say anything?
What?
Would you like to say anything?
I'm listening.
All right.
And understand, and here again, you're moving a ditch, allows you to put at least the units in that beyond what you were saying, you'll lose 1 unit if you put, if we have the recreational area.
2 units.
But, or up to 2 units. But if you didn't move the ditch, you couldn't get them all. You couldn't get everything in that you're planning. So give up the 2 units to meet the requirements.
Right.
And, like I say, we changed this to make sure that things were being done because there were, and even some of the developments that, they did not follow all the rules back 10 years ago or 12 years ago, that kind of thing. And we've tightened it up and stood by our tightening on this. So I'm not personally, we haven't taken a vote, but obviously you can tell the direction that I'm going.
Yeah, I wish I could change your mind, sir, but I think that it's a very good, one given to the other, if you will, because I do think the city will benefit from a new subdivision there.
It's good, sir, for you as a developer, not good for, what the city's looking at. You're looking after your investor. We're looking after, the people that are going to occupy that area. And it's good for you, okay, as a developer, but nothing else. And that's the reason why we established the standard way back when. So you already know where 2 of us are going. So
What are the lot sizes here?
The R5?
R5?
Yes, sir.
And we do appreciate McNeil and Carroll. Y'all have done a fantastic job on the various projects that have come through here. This is just one I'm going to have to disagree with you on.
I don't think you're disagreeing with me, sir. I think you're just disagreeing with the idea. So I appreciate that. Any other questions?
Anything else from anybody?
Nope.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Anyone in the audience want to comment? Yes, sir?
Martin Vosser, 6303 Wallace Road. Let me get my reading voice on. I need to get progressives. I haven't done it, I'm sorry. So now I can't see faces. Article 8, non-conforming development and variances. The purpose of Article 8 is to provide mechanisms for attaining relief from the provisions of these regulations where the hardship would otherwise occur. So, once again, I'm up here talking about people applying for a variance, and obviously it seems like they're gonna try to shift what would be their hardship, because they don't really have one based on what I see, to then the parents and people that would be in that little community. That hardship that they'll be shifting is where they're gonna find an area to go play and be kids and run around and play in the playground and do stuff like that. So I don't understand, other than a monetary reason, why people, would apply for that when it's not what hardship are they meeting, So, that's all.
Thank you. Anybody else? Yes, ma'am.
Since I already said my name and address 3 times, you guys get it. I just want to say that, we have it in the LDR for a reason. When they started looking at the property to develop the property, they were aware of the ditch in the middle of the property. I don't think that they should be, with the reason that, Callaway, with the uses of the drainage, I think that's kind of like trying to extort, hey, you've been using this, so you should do me a favor and grant the variance. That's what it kind of comes across to. Now, they may not mean it, but that's what it sounds like. I think that the only people benefiting by doing away with the open land would be the developers. It takes away from the citizens that are going to eventually live in that area. I don't think we should grant the variance. I think the neighborhoods need more parks because it does keep kids out of trouble a little, maybe a little more than at least we hope it does anyway. But, we have zoning plans for a reason, and I guess what it boils down to is when they appreciate what they're doing in the area, building it up, making it nicer, but they were aware of this whenever they started developing the property, so I think that they should try to figure out a reasonable way to fix the problem without taking away the open area.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am?
Just one thing I was wondering is why that didn't go to the planning board first. I know some things do, some things don't, and what made that different, and it didn't have to do that. But 2, I just want to reiterate what Teresa said. That was some extremely manipulative commentary from this developer, suggesting he does something for you, so you need to do something for him. And that's on public record now. That should be unacceptable to every one of you. Because that's unacceptable to me, and that was severe lack of good judgment in making that type of commentary up here.
Thank you. Anybody else? Yes, sir?
By the way, the planning board doesn't do variances.
No.
I had the same question.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That's why it didn't go, because they don't do those.
Okay, thank you.
What did I miss?
No, the variance, the planning board doesn't do variances.
Oh, Paul Bohack, 7010 Mike Lane. Subdivisions are, in a manner of speaking, many neighborhoods. They share a certain commonality in terms of architecture, landscaping, and perhaps color schemes. They offer residents certain amenities, such as sidewalks, street lighting, and paved roads. In Callaway, subdivisions also provide open space for a neighborhood park. That amenity is clearly expressed in an ordinance adopted by the City Commission. The requested variance seems to swap an existing environmental condition for a reduced open space requirement. The developer knew the stormwater ditch was present and knew it would have to remain. I think the open space needed for a neighborhood park is an inconvenience for the developer, and that is what prompts the requested variance. The ordinance serves not only the immediate needs of subdivision residents, but also those who would visit as guests, including extended family members. I believe the variance request is an overt attempt to dismiss the importance of the ordinance and should be denied. Additionally, as I read the ordinance in the LDR, the requested easement appears to be in direct conflict with the ordinance itself. Please see 15.715.11, parens D, parens 1, III. I brought my own copy. I'll be glad to argue with anybody except the city attorney. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Beltran. Anybody else? Anybody up here have anything else to say? Would someone like to make a motion?
Motion to vote on variance from the City of Callaway Code of Ordinances.
Second.
So we're,
Approving or denying?
Just to vote on that.
They're going to vote on it.
so a yes approves and no denies? Is that what you're,
Yes, ma'am.
everybody got that?
Yeah.
If you say yes, you're in favor of it. If you say no, you're denying it.
The normal way of doing it is to vote, to make the motion
To approve it.
to approve it, and then we turn it down.
Yeah.
Or,
Well, I thought it was pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
We're just going to vote on it.
no, Amy, what's the, Mr. Rubin?
It's appropriate to make a motion to approve or a motion to deny.
Right.
If your motion is to deny, your yes is effectively a
Right.
denial. So it's a little
That's what
confusing.
confuses
So is
everybody.
a no approval?
Yes. If it fails, yeah.
The motion is a good motion.
Yeah, we've
So
had
it's,
them before.
so it's just,
If everyone understands, a motion to vote, if you vote yes, it's approval. If you vote no, it's a denial.
Okay.
okay?
Thank you.
Do you want to do a roll call?
I
since
can,
it's
We
a
still
little more
need a second.
confusing? No, we got a
Yeah,
second.
we did a second.
Yeah, Commissioner Griggs
Commissioner
seconded, didn't you?
Pardon?
Didn't you second?
Yes.
This motion?
Whatever it is.
So a yes approves and no denies. So everybody's got that.
Commissioner Griggs?
No?
Commissioner Pelletier?
No.
Commissioner Ayers?
No.
Commissioner Birdsell?
No.
And Mayor Henderson?
No. We will go on to item number 6. Department of Environmental Protection, MS4 permit site visit audit. And it looks like this is city manager.
So, I'm gonna let Bill explain everything about our MS4 permit.
All right, so it is required for us to put this on the agenda yearly to give a report on our MS4 report. Mr. Tony Diaz, MS4 coordinator from DEP, came and did an audit with us. He sat down in the office and we fed him document after document on everything we do all year long. Then we did a field inspections and all. All in all, he said, and I quote, that we did very good. So the MS4 permit is municipal separate storm sewer system. Separate meaning that our storm water goes separately from sanitary sewer. Not around here, but there are some cities that their storm water and their sanitary sewer go to the same place. Ours is separate. This is all part of the NEPDES, which is National Pollution Discharge Elimination System. Basically to keep the rainwater from washing debris, litter, trash into our natural waterways. I'd like to take this time to thank Lisa Kupke, our planning assistant. She's kind of the hub. She is tasked with data collection, outreach efforts, and putting reports together all year long. She is assisted by Chris Griffin, our street and stormwater superintendent. Charlie Beach, street maintenance 2. He's our crew leader for the guys who go around with the pickup sticks, mow the grass, and make sure all that debris doesn't wash out into the natural waterways. And everybody's heard this name, David Carrington, solid waste supervisor. You know, they pick up literally tons and tons of debris to make sure that it's up and not washing off. The data collection is quite extensive. I'm just kind of giving you a brief. They require us to turn in which ditches have been cleaned, how far, did we just mow, dig them out. We're required to turn in how much debris, litter that's picked up. Mr. Charlie turns in how many bags, et cetera, of junk, coffee cups, bubblegum wrappers in the ditch, on the right-of-way, et cetera. We will be required to not only turn in a volume, but we're going to be required to weigh it next year. They're completely going to revamp the entire process. So just when we get comfortable and Lisa's got a pretty good idea what's coming, they're going to change it on us. So Eddie, we're going to be asking for a scale next year so we can weigh the debris. We also do site inspections, construction sites, subdivisions, commercial developments. We make sure their silt fencing is on order, all their erosion control efforts, once again, to make sure that it's not washing into our natural waterways. The outreach we do is constantly all year long, including the website. Ashley helps us with that. Newsletter, flyers throughout the city. You can go to the fire department, leisure services, any of our buildings and grab a flyer. It gives you all kinds of good information. This is an approved prop. It's an inside joke. And the seals, we put, you may or may not have seen these things around. We epoxy these to the grates and all to make sure people aren't dumping oil, debris, you name it. It goes right out into the bay or the bayou or some other form of natural body of water. We are required, for an example, we're required to put 20 of these out a year. On May 15th at 10 a.m. until noon at the Public Works Building, which is at 324 South Bertha Avenue, we will have a Florida-friendly landscaping and cleanup day. We're asking for volunteers. Tim Laguerre, our Leisure Services Director, will give a brief lecture on what, where, and how to care for landscaping in our area. We will then hand out safety vests, poke sticks, grabbers and buckets, and trash bags, and volunteers led by staff will make their way up and down Bertha Avenue, picking up trash and litter and debris that could potentially make its way into our natural waterways, ensuring compliance with our MS4 permits.
Could you repeat?
We will be,
Date and time?
sorry?
Repeat the day and time,
Okay.
please.
It's going to be May 15th, 10 a.m. till noon. We will be giving out free waters, but no hot dogs. Just can't do it. Not this time.
Get a hamburger instead.
And that's our MS4 audit report for this year.
Wonderful.
Excellent.
Anybody have any questions?
Thank you, and certainly thank you,
Yes.
the team.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
You don't need any action on this, it's just a report.
You just got to give that report, information.
We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, that brings us to our last item, number 7. Cherry Street Water Main Improvement Materials, Phase 3.
Ashley. Oh, yeah, that's you.
All right, so we issued this invitation to bid on April 9th, and it closed last Thursday, the 23rd. This is for the water main improvements, is it phase 3? I think it's the last one, the big chunk.
Yeah.
So it should be the last one. We did have 2 companies that bid on it. However, Stayline Waterworks originally was the low bid. However, after reviewing their bid, there were 13 line items that they just put no quote on. They didn't give us a price, they just typed out no quote.
That
So,
explains how they had the low bid.
correct, they did. So, we do recommend to award it to Ferguson for they did have all of their line items quoted.
We'll say that we took the information from Ferguson for those missing line items and put that into State Line, and it was higher. It was a higher bid by using the same numbers in both quotes, so.
Yeah, they were like 25,000.
Yeah, about 25,000 over, so
And this, again, is just materials.
It's materials,
The city
right.
will do the work in-house.
we do the work.
What part of Cherry Street is this covering?
That is a great question.
Isn't this the rest that we haven't already
Correct
bought?
me if I'm wrong, but from my understanding, Thomas, this is from Tyndall Parkway
To Jan,
to Jan,
To
where
Jan.
they are now. Correct.
I believe it.
But it doesn't cover from Jan on to Star.
No, the original
that's
one
gonna
we
happen.
did that y'all got quotes for,
The original one, the 50,000, that was a quick one that we did,
Yes.
and that was just that one area from,
and then the last one that we did was from there to Star. And then this one is
So this-
from Jan to
this
Tyndall
should
Parkway.
finish it.
This will finish the
From
entire
Star to Tyndall. it
length
should.
of Cherry Street, correct?
From my understanding, yes.
All right.
And this will have us having material sitting in a yard, not waiting 2 to 3 years for the price to go up on it.
correct, yeah,
Correct.
we'll put it up for purchase. We'll be using impact fees for this.
Good.
As stated in the other ones, we're adding hydrants and we're increasing line sizes. Make Chief happy.
And laying out water lines temporarily.
Yeah.
So, any more questions from anybody? Before I turn it over to the public? Did anybody in the audience want to comment? No? Okay. Nobody wanted to comment, so we either need to ask more questions or make a motion.
Motion to approve bid award CM 2026-03, Cherry Street Water Main Improvement Materials, Phase 3.
Second.
Second to Ferguson.
Sir?
We have to identify who.
Oh, sorry. With Ferguson Waterworks as the contractor to supply the materials.
Okay, so we do have that in a second. Is there any other discussion? If not, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. And that brings us to the end of our agenda items. So we will go on to commission and staff comments. I don't have much, I just wanted to let everybody know at our DAR meeting last week, it came up every year, the local chapter of the DAR puts American flags on veterans' graves at Memorial Day in some cemetery. So I suggested that we do Callaway Cemetery, so we'll be putting flags on all the veterans' graves. There are 157 veterans buried in that cemetery. And if anybody knows anything, I've been trying to do the work so that Callaway Cemetery is included in the Wreaths Across America program that happens in December. I keep hitting the wall though, because anybody I try to get in touch about that, I don't get any response. So if anybody out there knows anybody that has anything to do with Wreaths Across America, let me know so I can try to track this down, that we can get our cemetery included.
And make sure you take a drill with a long drill bit.
I know, we will. And it's got to
That
be
ground is-
battery operated.
That ground is hard.
Let's not go too far down with the drill.
Yeah. Stay a little bit above.
I thought I'd take like a spike and a hammer. That's all I had. Commissioner Ayers, we'll start with you tonight.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Attended Bay Estuary meeting. At the meeting, they gave me some flyers for a fund run that you can make donations to. So if you're interested in donating to the committee, Bay Estuary Committee, it's right there. Or if you'd like to become a sponsor, there's a sponsor package. Attended the Historical Society, very interesting. and then met with the city manager a couple times and reviewed all of our projects. That's it, ma'am.
Commissioner Pelletier?
City manager, you're gonna talk about Flex next?
Yes.
Okay. Also, finance director, where we at with that?
We have started
And
interviews.
advertising.
We advertised, we got, I don't know what the total number was. At last count, it was 133, and somebody said 150. We posted this up on Indeed, and we had a plethora. We narrowed it down, and
Okay.
we're in the middle of interviews right now.
Okay. And Chief, can Chief give us we tested all the hydrants. Do we have any hydrants out there that are broken we need to replace doing the testing?
None that's been reported.
None.
Deputy Chief is still insert stuff and getting all the numbers, but nothing's been reported.
Right. And I know what's going on with Cherry Street. I guess we're not gonna get it scheduled because we're kind of tied up at in that one particular area. Is that?
So I think what'll happen is, now that they've got approval, he said he would issue a schedule as quickly as possible.
Okay. And, I didn't like the idea that we approved $450,000 on something that we don't know what changed the line. I hate that you've got engineers, and I know they're doing a good job, but they should be able to give us justification why that line was changed.
So that, I will tell you this much, that when he said that, I was like, what are you talking about? None of the plans have changed. They have not changed. He was basically, that was also the contractor.
Right, I
And so
understand that.
he was put on the spot, and Gabe, you can attest to this. Nothing has changed on any of that. It's just, he was put
Nothing
on the
has
spot.
changed from the
'cause
original design?
No, not at all. He was trying to talk about, and I really don't know where the term misalignment came up from, because that's the first time unless Gabe, you have something you want to share. But, no, and that's why the CEI stepped in and tried to say, no, nothing's done. This is just materials only to do this stuff. And some of it might take more, I don't know, but,
seemed to
you
me
got
like-
anything, but the word misalignment was not a good statement to make. And once again, you're talking about the project manager. He's the
Right, I
guy that's
understand.
out there on there and.
But it made me believe that the cost increase was because of that.
Right.
And that's what I hated and why I voted no, for the simple fact that, we're increasing it because of the alignment, and the alignment should never change from the original project.
And of course, Gabe is the EOR, so he doesn't review the CEI reviews the change orders and does all that. But Gabe, you can attest, there have been no changes to the plans or
Yes, sir.
anything
No,
like that.
the alignment has not changed.
Okay, well, it just kind of threw me for a curve when he said that, and I said, now, wait a minute, why did, and nobody can give me an answer as to why it was changed. No one up there.
Well, I thought, Donald was like, he tried to say, no, there's no misalignment or nothing like that.
And Donald mentioned that there was a sub-quote. So I believe Jordan was maybe, he was trying to remember the reason. And maybe he thought that was why. So.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you. That's all I have.
Okay.
Man, there was one other thing. I did address a couple citizen inputs that I forgot to mention. Wallace Road, Martin brought that to my attention. And Eddie talked to the contractor out there. They're gonna fix what they're not gonna replace with a driveway. And then we did go to Lee Drive and look at that, and then Eddie's gonna take care of that. So, thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
They ain't gonna tear my sidewalks up and get away with that. I've got a hold on their CEO, on their CO.
Yeah.
I have a hold on their CO until that's taken care of.
It's bad, and I walk that every day.
Yeah, I saw it too.
Kids walk that every day.
Oh, yeah, it's torn up.
And walk that every day.
Yeah. They're building a house, and so when they were bringing in the concrete trucks and all that, it just broke the
Chewed up
broke
the
the
sidewalk.
sidewalk all up. And of course, they're gonna have to put a driveway in, so
They'll fix it.
most of that'll be fixed, it'll be fixed when they do that. But I did put a hold on the CO.
Thank you, ma'am.
I'll wait for the updates. Most of them have already been taken care of, but I defer. I'm done.
I've got a few things. One is, all the commission, y'all received an email about, making this pull back up, the Freedom Truck. Have any of y'all had a chance to research? I know that you had
I was
commented
gonna
that
submit a
as whole.
request, but I can't submit the request if the city doesn't want to do it.
Right. I don't know
We have
anything
to have
about
a
it, if there's a
location.
cost or,
There's no cost associated with it. We just need to provide a pad. And last time when we had the wall, we had them out here, which worked out real good.
y'all did that at Veterans Park, didn't you?
No, we had it out.
It was right here?
Yes,
Okay.
right. Yeah,
When we
with
had
Took up our whole
all
soccer
the
field.
hills.
yeah.
Because
Veterans
that's the
Hall.
same wall I've seen
This
out
would
at the
not
Harley
take that
dealership
much
and
space,
stuff.
would it?
No, it's a
Bigger?
semi-truck.
They could do it in
This is
Veterans
just-
Park, probably.
I don't know, no, because you wouldn't have parking.
No, you have to have a better space, it would have to be out here, and that's the only reason why I didn't submit a request, because, I forgot to, talk about it.
We got the huge
I'm glad
parking
you
lot,
brought that
we
up.
got the big parking lot behind City Hall, but it's just, there's no visibility back
It'd be
there.
best up here,
Yeah.
yeah. And that's up to you all, there's no reason why we can't accommodate it.
I mean, depending on when it comes, you've got right across over here, you've got the
Right.
parking lot, they could be on the backside.
Right.
Tim's over there going, what are you doing?
There's no cost to the city at all, except for we need to have the space.
From what I
We don't
understand,
want space.
Yeah.
the scheduling is, their scheduling is pretty tight. so-
Yeah, but there's 7 trucks too.
Yeah.
They're in Blountstown. If they're in Blountstown, they can come to Panama City.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of requesting it, and if we get it, we get it. If we don't, we don't. At least we requested it.
Well, I'd like to entertain pushing forward, especially the no cost, because that was one of our big things of cutting
I
out
agree.
the 4th of July festivals.
Right.
Was low turnout, but really there was a huge cost for the low turnout.
Right. This is zero cost, other than, obviously, it might be some, for Tim, might be some requirements to have the gate open at a certain time, but other than that,
Do they just come for one day?
yes. One or 2 days. I think Blountstown is 2 days, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if the commission wants, well, I'll send Tim the information and he can
Okay.
call and find out. I don't know what date it would be. I mean, it could
Right.
be,
But
You
we
won't
can get
won't know
some-
until you send a request in and they say they'll accommodate us or not accommodate
And it
us.
might not even happen this year. It might not fit their schedule.
Right.
Okay. Well, Tim, I'll send you the information.
At least we
Go
can
ahead.
get the
Will you
request
raise your
in.
hand about it?
Yeah, I did read that they require a paved surface.
Right.
They will not accept like a gravel surface.
Right.
So it would have to be.
It'd have to be up
around
here,
this-
Could they go right over here? Right across?
Right.
In the parking
Yeah,
spots?
Yeah.
parking lot here.
It'd be a perfect spot for it.
We just have to make sure we didn't have a rental.
Yeah. I think it's, 7 days a week? 5 days a week? Do we know?
What?
Weekends only?
But they're only here for 2 days.
No, but will they do a weekend, or, do they do 7 days a week?
I mean, yeah, do they do it Monday and Tuesday, Wednesday,
Don't have the
Thursday?
full
Don't know.
information. That's
Yeah,
where we
Tim,
would like to
we'll look at
explore,
it.
finding out more.
Yeah.
Tim, you got a new project, congratulations. Give it to Caleb, he's not here.
That's right.
I'll send it to Caleb.
It would be a good thing if they come, but if they don't, at least we tried.
Okay.
Moving on from that, Tim and his team and the whole city of Callaway, the fire department stepped up a whole lot. We had a firefighter get passed away a week ago. We had a memorial service here. The fire department stepped in and took over for locations of the county. So as a first responder, I'm a little emotional. It's a big deal that we helped out, but I really appreciate that, how much we were able to help out and just go from there.
Yeah, we have great leadership at our fire department, that's for sure.
And then on to a less sad portion is Callaway and Rec, there's a lot going on. There's races and stuff. There's a 5K and a 10K they do every other week. There's going to be one here on Saturday, so anybody who would like to join, I'll be there, and I'll buy the first round of coffee for whoever beats me.
Can I take my motorcycle?
No, it's on the dirt track, no motorized vehicles. That's a Tim rule.
Is that it?
That's it, ma'am.
Okay, so we're on to city clerk, city attorney,
No report.
city manager, you're up.
Real quick, at the last commission meeting, Commissioner Pelletier had discussed the, I'm sorry, let me find, I should have had it pulled out. We talked about bereavement leave. We didn't really have any information to put into the packet, but I will tell you, we did find a couple of policies that some of the other cities are doing. And of course, they have to match up with our 4896 schedule. So Panama City Beach does have a policy. They actually do 24 hours for the full-time employees, and then 36 hours for firefighters. Is that
They
correct?
changed it to 48, it
They-
just wasn't updated in their manual.
Ah,
They went to
okay.
48 for line.
So a shift is what they do, right?
Yeah.
And that's what I was thinking, is that give the firemen a shift. That's
So we didn't, I don't have legislation, and we'd have to change that in the policy manual, but I wanted to bring that up. And if y'all want to take some discussion on it right now, I can bring legislation back if that's something that this commission so chooses to do.
I thought we were gonna bring it back and have a discussion on it, and it wasn't in here this evening.
Well, we were doing investigation, we didn't
Right.
have enough information. We have it now. I don't know, we're not voting on it, can it be discussed tonight, Amy?
Well,
You can discuss it. I don't know that it's worth voting on unless you're going to adopt their policy verbatim.
No, I will not adopt their policy verbatim. I'm just, before I put the effort into it, is that something this commission wants to move forward with?
I'll just say, if we're going to increase the number of hours that the fire department gets, then I feel like we should increase the number of hours that all the other employees get.
well, I understand, Mayor, but the fire department, when we start looking at the fire department, it's a different breed than there is the rest of the city. You know, we're giving our employees 3 days,
Yeah.
you know, and
But you know.
you don't
the fire
see, you know, the rest of the employees running around in 80-degree heat with, you know, around the city to get in condition. You don't see them on medical calls, you don't, it's a different breed. You know, I understand what you're saying, we need to be fair across the board.
Exactly.
But at the end of the day, 1 day for a fireman, to me, you know, for a bereavement is, you know, what are you gonna do? You know,
Well, but you know, we've already adjusted their schedule so they work 48 and they have 96 off. They have 4 days off.
yeah, but they don't get to go home either for 2 days.
That was their
The
choice.
rest of our people go home.
That was their choice to work 48, not 24.
But be it 24, Mayor, they're still not going home
Well-
at 24 or not going home at 48.
Whatever you say, I still feel like we need to be equal. If they get 36 more hours, then I'm in favor of the rest of the employees getting 36 hours, more hours.
Way too much.
Well, then I feel like it's too much for the fire department. I'm sorry, guys.
Well, I understand that, Mayor, but I don't agree with you for the simple fact that the fire department mission is entirely different than the rest of our city. And we've been treating for years, and it really angers me that we're talking about our firemen that can come over to your home, my home, and save my life. Nobody in the rest of the city does that. I'm not putting the rest of the city down, but their mission is entirely different.
I agree. It's just like being in the military, you're
Right.
expected to go above and beyond.
It's above and beyond. What they do is above and beyond the training that they're disciplined, a bunch of people, you know. And yes, not saying that Public Works and the rest of the city, and the rest of our employees are not dedicated and not doing a great job, but, you know, we've been treating our fire department like the rest of the city, and they are part of our city. But, you know, they don't get to go home, be it 24 or 48 hours, they're away from their family. And what they do for us is, you know, above and beyond, and I think we should honor that and give them you know, 1 shift and leave the rest alone, in my opinion.
It's like staying alert in the military, you cannot go home.
Right, thank you.
Yeah, but they don't give you anything extra in the military
Oh, yes,
either.
they do.
Yes, they
When
do,
you're on
too.
alert, you're training the whole time, and you're doing
But you don't get extra days off for it is what I'm talking about. You don't get extra time off.
All depends who you
because-
work for.
Yeah, that's true. But
Well, now, so you want to give them how many extra hours?
1 shift, ma'am,
1 shift, 48.
48, 1 shift, that's it.
Okay. So they just get 48, not in addition to the 24 they've been
Right.
getting.
They get a shift.
So they'll get twice as much as the other employees.
Well, because
24,
of the
40.
pay, they're not getting twice as much, is that A regular employee is getting 3 days.
Yeah, because they're only working 8 hours in a day, but they're getting the whole day,
Right.
you know? We can't call them in that night to
Right.
work.
Well, they called in, they're getting paid
That's
overtime.
right, Public Works gets called in.
Right,
But
but
they're getting
if
paid
you're on
overtime, too.
bereavement, you wouldn't do that.
They're not doing it for free.
What,
So 48, and our rest of our employees would have 3 days.
I stand where they stand.
oh, of course. Of course.
There's, what are we talking about, the dollars, or are we talking
We're talking
about?
about bereavement time.
We talking about time or dollars?
No,
Time.
we're talking about time.
Okay, but for everybody else, it is,
They're getting 3 days.
well,
Employees, regular
they're getting
employees.
3 8-hour days is what you're talking about. They're getting 24 hours,
Right,
and they're getting paid for the 24 hours.
right.
Yeah, I don't see where the problem is. What you're saying is that the fire department would only get 1 day off.
Right. Well, you
Why
got
can't
one
they
day
get,
for
why can't they
bereavement.
get 3 days off, but only the 24 hours pay?
I don't agree with that.
I mean, that's a matter of scheduling,
Right.
you know, under those circumstances. And it's not going to be occurring, hopefully not going to be occurring very often.
But doesn't that put our firefighters that are going to pick up the other shifts, they're on overtime pay then?
Right,
So it's gonna end up costing us more than just the 24 that I let that person
right,
off.
exactly.
Chief,
Well, a lot depends on the
Do we-
scheduling.
whenever someone takes bereavement, do we call somebody in to cover their shift, or is it just left
Not
over?
necessarily. We have 4 members there, we're good to go.
That's right.
We have 6 per shift.
Right.
So if we have
So
4
you're
members,
not-
then
Exactly.
we'll
you're not
staff it.
putting- Has it ever been an issue with only giving them 24 hours?
It has, with timing and everything else.
Right. We're talking about bereavement here, we're not talking about going to a wedding, you know?
No, but what if you have, now tell me this, if you have a regular employee, works at City Hall, they have a parent that lives in Oregon. The parent dies, you think in 3 days they can get to Oregon, do the funeral and get back?
It's no different, ma'am, if it was a fireman, he
Well,
could get there in 1
that's what
day.
I'm saying, yeah, but that's what I'm saying, you want to give them extra so they have more time, so,
They get 2 days.
Yeah, that's not really extra, I mean, just because they would work 24-hour shifts.
Right.
And anyway, do they work 2 on, 3 off, is that what they're doing?
They work 48 hours on and 96 hours.
yeah, they
And
work 2
3
on,
off.
4 off.
So if they needed 3 days, they could take it, but they wouldn't get paid for the
Right.
extra
No, they have
day.
4 off, they work 2 on, 4
That's
off.
fine, but if the bereavement happened during their shift, then they should take it, but if it happens outside the shift, they still take bereavement.
Well, they're still going to get it,
Yeah,
so they could have 6 days?
yeah, and so could the employee could have 5 days. If bereavement started on Wednesday, he'd have Saturday and Sunday off.
Yeah, but what if it happens on Monday or Tuesday?
Well, he's gonna have to take leave.
But see, they can do the same thing, they can take leave.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah, we're talking about,
I'm sorry, I just,
24 hours and then schedule the time. That's-
I understand that, but,
see, to me, it's a slap in the face to the rest of the employees.
well,
And I think they would feel that way.
well, I understand, Mayor, the way you feel, but again, you're looking at it as our firefighters that gonna save your life someday. Hopefully not, you know, you don't get to that point, you know, but
hopefully
all of
they
us
won't
will need
save
them
my
someday,
life.
you know?
Well,
A different mission.
If you can get this brought back to us for the next commission meeting.
Right.
We could have more public input on it and
Right.
not just our fire decision.
Right.
Because I think we all have a certain stance, but what is the rest of
Well,
the
right
city?
now, y'all have the 3 votes, so.
Right, but doesn't matter, we
Get the
need to
chief
hear
in
from
it.
the citizens.
and give the chief some input to us too.
Well, and maybe
so-
we can find out what other cities are doing. I mean, you've got one.
Yeah, I think, do you know what the other city said?
South Walton does it, and I didn't even go there because that's a totally different breed. over
Right,
South Walton.
right.
Totally different animal over there.
Chief, how many firemen did we lose this year? Different category, but again, you know, I'm looking at what we're doing for our firefighters? We've spent all that in training. How many people did we lose to
We
fire?
have 2 new guys, so within, I'd say, year and a half, I believe. But, you know, me and DC talked about it, and it won't disrupt the mission if we give a firefighter 48 hours off.
Right, thank you.
You know, and we've done so much with the 4896. You know, we're in a world now where these firefighters, they're going to your car accidents, you know, when they're tasked to, hey, that person flipped out, we gotta get into the woods and try to find them. You know, cutting people out, cardiac arrest, dealing with, you know, just horrible things. So I'm a big advocate for that healthy firefighter. And after what happened this weekend with Bay County, I couldn't imagine having my guys there with a mother just passing or something like that, because I'm not going to have them in their right state for these folks out here.
Right.
So it won't disrupt the mission. Like I said, we've done so much, you know, with the holidays and the 4896 for their welfare. Like I said, that's just my 2 cents. I can keep researching and give you guys more information.
I totally agree, yeah. You know, because they're under a lot of pressure all the time when they do a call.
And this would only apply to the firefighters themselves,
When
not
we
the-
don't, and can I add,
not the chief and deputy chief.
if it was
Just the
the sheriff's
firefighter.
office, we have no control over
The
that.
chief and
No,
assistant
that's-
chief.
They do whatever they do.
They do their own.
And we want it consecutive. We don't want them to split it up.
Right.
We want to say, hey, I want this day and then this
Right.
day.
No,
It's going to be
consecutive,
consecutive.
Chief and assistant chief's on salary, so they get paid the same amount. They're off 10 days or 14 days.
No, they get 24 days, they get 24 hours bereavement. Salaried employees get that.
Right.
Otherwise, they'd have to use vacation or sick time.
Yeah.
Right, they're just normal,
Yeah.
is what you're telling me. Yes. Okay.
Anything else on that?
Bring it back, city manager, please.
Yes, sir.
Put it on the next agenda.
It will be there.
Thank you.
We just wanted a little bit of direction, that was all.
Okay. What else do you have for us?
Just discussion. Oh, yeah, that was me. Wow.
Yeah, that was you. You brought that up.
We are doing a walkthrough on Hugh Thomas on Thursday. We are in the purchasing process for the amphitheater through the Sourcewell contract, and we're waiting on them to send the documents. We've had a meeting on merit pay and made some decisions on that as we continue to move forward, so we'll have that for you at budget time. Sandy Creek is still in environmental. Any updates? Nope. All right. How about spillway? 100% plan, well, everything's at 100% plans, we're just waiting on environmentals.
Yes, sir.
Still waiting on environmentals, okay. We have had, the state has been calling, the Department of Commerce has been wearing out, them trying to help us get this stuff done, but I don't even know what to do, so. FlexNet, we're doing conversion right now. It's where the files from Springbrook have to match up with their software. As y'all know, when Springbrook was originally set up, unfortunately, it was set up by people that didn't understand the software internally.
No.
Yeah, internally. We're having to make a lot of changes. It's actually coming down to almost an audit of every account. Springbrook is assisting us with this right now at no charge. They've been very, very helpful, because at the same time, they're also learning too. So Lisa's in a rush right now. This is her project. She's spearheading it. She's spending an absorbent amount of time running the reports, seeing what's right, and trying to get all this done before we do drive-bys next week. And then we'll do the drive-by and then compare it up. We'll take another read off the FlexNet. We'll run the comparisons and see where we're at. And hopefully we'll have a better idea of where we are in the process on the conversion. Other than that, I will tell y'all that if you'll remember, when we did the lift station, the rehab of the 5 lift stations, when we came back to y'all, there was an issue with the station. Gabe, which one is it? Lift station number 1 at the end of Kimbrell. That's the one that's always down at the water. If y'all remember, when we had it originally engineered, Whenever FEMA came out with the new floodplain, it was 2 foot below floodplain. Came back, we talked to y'all about that, and y'all said, no, we need to go ahead and fix it now, which that's what we were advocating for. So on the next agenda, we will have that change order for the cost and the platform, and then some of the other minor costs that we've experienced, while, unfortunately, when we costed these things out, it's not like we can stop a lift station, take it all the way down and I don't know how much you've been involved in that.
There's not a whole lot of other costs in that you'll see at the next meeting in that change order. But the one item that we experienced at every station so far is the wet well bottom. It had grout deposit, and so they were not able to put the base of the pumps and mount them flush. So they had to do some work to reinforce the bottom and pour a new bottom in each well. So that was an unforeseen cost to the contractor.
Is that gonna happen again? You say it was grout for the
For
bottom?
each station, yes, sir. Yeah,
So-
these are very old.
Should it be raised to?
Yes, we looked at the numbers. We went back through to see how that would affect the run times of each well. And so we've worked in conjunction with Mr. Thomas. And so everything is good. We're getting good flow, good numbers. So that was just needed for construction.
And that's a very minor cost,
It is, yes, sir.
not just, yeah. When I say minor, I don't remember right offhand, it's a couple of thousand per
Couple
station or
thousand.
less.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
It's just a matter of re-pouring the bottoms of the wet wells, and then so they could level up for the pumps to go in.
Yep, and there were also some,
But the majority of the change order, and I don't remember Tyler's not done because he's readdressing the bottom of this wet well that we're dealing with now.
yes, sir.
And that's just something, whenever they go in and look at this stuff, you can't stop a lift station and pump it down and go down there and clean it out, look at it and go, this is what it is. It's after you get down there and you realize what's at the bottom. I had no idea.
Yeah,
I'm
some
not
of the
speaking
walls
out of
needed.
experience, once again, I'm regurgitating stuff that I hear.
Yeah.
So, but that'll be on the next agenda. I think it was somewhere around 60,000. Because we had the one well had to come up, what was it, 4 foot? Which means we had to build a platform that wasn't included, and we had to raise all the electronics out of it. But that was one thing that we discussed.
That's impact fees also, isn't it?
But-
Lift stations.
Yes. Yeah, well, it's grant.
Oh, okay.
It's grant, but our match is
That's
coming,
right.
our match comes out of impact fees, yes. So, yeah, because we've upgraded every one of them so far. That's our goal. Look ahead in the future, so. Y'all will see that on the next agenda. So while I had him here, I wanted to go ahead and bring it up so he could help do some explanation so that when y'all see it, and y'all go back and look at those where we talked about it and it was discussed and y'all said move forward.
Yep.
Instead of going, I don't know nothing about this. So, other than that, that's pretty much an update of where we're at. Yes, sir?
Have we done anything but, we violated your no trespass sign. We drove on Thomas Drive.
Shame on you.
And
I have
there
a
were people
meeting.
back there.
I have another meeting at the end of the week.
You know what's going to happen.
No, I know what's gonna happen. I'm gonna put bollards across the street. That's what I told them. I said they're gonna lose access to the park and I'm gonna close the street and put bollards across it.
Yeah.
That's what I told them.
Because,
I said if I put this fence up,
we already had people back there, so it's just a matter of time, that he's going to call you, so if somebody broke in.
yeah, me and Tim have been discussing that, but our thing was, as I basically said in the discussion that I had, and I actually talked to the engineer today, and I told them that I said, this is not, and if it's you're gonna do, if not, I said, it's a city street, correct? They said, yeah. I said, I'll close it, I'll put bollards across it. And it won't be a city street anymore, it'll be a walking path. And we'll put the thing up, and I said, and then I told them, we would not give that subdivision access. We'll just put a fence straight across.
Because at the end of the day, if I remember right, when that project was approved, it was understood that they were going to put a fence up.
Yeah, it was our idea.
They agreed to put a fence up at their expense, not our expense.
Yeah, and I have plenty of documentation showing that that was in the agreement.
Right.
So,
Which way are we talking about over here?
the fence right here, between
That's what
the
I
new
thought,
subdivision.
yeah,
Right.
I thought.
So I violated your no trespass sign, but I wanted to
That
see.
was not mine, that was theirs. It's still a project.
I was
under
waiting for the
them.
sheriff to come.
I was off then, I guess.
That's it?
Anything he missed that anybody wondered about?
Really?
Okay,
Really,
Amazing.
off the hook.
you did good. Okay, the announcements. Planning board meeting potential, does it look like there will be one?
We will.
Okay, so there'll be a planning board meeting next Tuesday at 6, and then our next commission meeting will be May 12th at 6. Is anybody aware of anything else? That's all I know. So we will go to public participation, so, yes, ma'am?
So about the fire department. You guys are up here talking about this in hours, which is technically correct. But the reality for every employee is number of shifts. That's where this discussion needs to happen, is how many shifts are we getting off if somebody passes in my family? Regular employees get 3 shifts. The fire department should also get there at least 1 shift, because theoretically, hypothetically, if they have a family emergency, the day before their shift starts, they would get 24 hours. They would still have 1 day left in that shift. Who's gonna handle that kind of situation in 24 hours? They're not. So reality is you should be speaking about this in shifts rather than hours. And also, just personally, has any of you ever stood in your kitchen and watched your husband hit the floor? Because if you have, these guys were the first ones at my house to pick Bob up off the floor. They deserve a shift off to handle their business. They're the first ones to walk into a burning building to save your life, your family, and your dog, because they have oxygen masks for dogs on the truck. And I think that's a shame. I think it's a shame, and it's a disservice to our firefighters that we have an elected official saying, nope, 24 hours is all they should get. That's a disservice to this community. It's a disservice to the firefighters. It's a disservice to the profession to say that they deserve no more than 24 hours away to handle bereavement.
Anyone else? Yes, sir?
Tim Broder, 6620 Cherry Street. I discussed a little bit with you this morning, and I wanted to bring it up about, since we're having all this work done on Cherry Street now, the post office has informed us that they're going to stop delivering to most of the street until after you guys get everything done. And then we're gonna have to go down and get post office boxes to get our mail from. Which is kind of a pain in the ass for a lot of people. And I was wondering if there was something that you guys could come up with, like, we're similar to the mailboxes like they have at a condo, where you can put it someplace on city property with our numbers on there, where we could go and pick it up there rather than having to go clear down to Sherman Avenue just to pick up our mail. Plus, like I said, my P.O. box that I just rented for 3 months was over $70. And so that's just another added expense, and I was hoping maybe you guys could talk about it, maybe come up with another idea.
I did tell him about it.
Okay, and the other thing I wanted to mention while I'm here, speaking as a former paramedic, people in the fire service and in EMS, and it's kind of a cross thing because firemen are in EMS and a lot of EMS people are firemen. The anxiety level that we maintain, even when we're not on a call, is unbelievable. If you don't if you've never lived it, you don't understand. We're at a heightened level waiting for that phone to ring. And then when we get the scene, we're dealing with people's lives and everything. And even once we get office shipped, so much of the time it takes us, sometimes we never get over some of the stuff we have to deal with. I know I'd come home off of a bad run and maybe it'd be 2 days before I could finally get back where I could lay down and actually go to sleep. So that's a little bit different than somebody that's working on the street department or one of the other offices in the city. So you guys need to kind of consider that. That's a little bit more involved. So when you're talking about giving people time off, you gotta realize that our stress level is a whole lot higher in that particular occupation.
Okay, thank you.
City manager, on, what's probably costing the post office, because we got that huge section of Cherry Street closed. With the change order, are they gonna be able to open that first section that was supposed to be open at some?
This is the first time I've heard that there was an
Post
issue.
office refusing?
Yeah, we have not heard this. I will attempt, I'll talk to the contractor, see what it's, I mean, even though the whole entire street is technically
You
closed.
can still drive through.
You can still drive down through.
Right, because you're not stopping residents from going out of their home.
No, not at all. So
Okay.
this is,
Okay. all right.
unfortunately, I will tell you that we have so many problems with the post office.
Okay.
I mean, at one point, one of our girls told us, said, hey, I'm gonna go on vacation, somebody will be taking my spot. We didn't get the mail for 4 days, we had to go down and get it. This is just, and we can't deal with not getting mail, especially when we have utility bills and stuff coming in.
Right.
This is a constant problem that the city has had. There's times when we'll get stacks of return mail, and I'm not talking about a stack, I'm talking about a stack of return mail. And we could have 3 months of returned bills from one address in that stack. It's just, Ashley knows.
We had 12 months worth one time for one person, 12 of their bills.
I mean, it takes that long for us to get a return, it's, I don't know what to do, we've tried.
I know
You know,
other
we've tried
people in
talking.
Callaway have issues, because I see stuff posted on Facebook in different neighborhoods about the mailman's delivering to the wrong address, or he's not delivering mail to us. So
I mean,
there's
our
a lot of
the one girl
complaints.
that comes in, thank goodness, she's great.
It's great.
She is great, but she can't be great to everybody.
Right.
And when she's gone, everything falls apart, and, she only delivers what's given to us, so I will go down and try to make contact.
Probably need to talk to the postmaster. No.
We had several, this is when I was still up front, we did have an inspector with the post office come into City Hall, and Lisa showed him all of it. Showed him the boxes and boxes we had of returned mail. And then, of course, it was, we'll take care of it, I'll figure out what's going on,
Right.
but it hasn't changed since then.
But let me investigate it. I'll do my best to figure out what's going on and why they won't. Maybe, it's probably somebody, I don't hesitate. It's probably somebody being lazy. They see a barricade go up, can't deliver there. That takes 15, 20 minutes off my time. I can go home early.
The man of the post office actually told us there were several people that have already got P.O. boxes down there off of Cherry Street.
Well, they're making money.
Yeah.
They're making money.
How much is that P.O. box now?
Well, I got the second from, you got Drill's phones, and you got the next size up, mine was the next size up. It was like $72 for 3 months.
Wow. I know, the mayor told me that, and I thought, really, one more thing I got to deal with on this.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure we,
We done talking about that? Because Mr. Hannings was, I didn't want to forget him, I wasn't gonna leave him.
Oh, one more
hanging.
thing, sit down.
Don Hennings, 431 Tank to Pass. What's the status on our Beacon Plaza money, getting back from the money? What's the status on that?
Do you know anything? You probably don't.
I have no idea what you're
Yeah.
talking about.
it's been turned over.
It's turned over to the new attorney, the new attorney's doing everything. I
litigation.
have not got an update, but I will,
I just want
You know what?
I'll throw a check about it.
well, let me put that on my list of things.
Well, obviously, we haven't gotten the money.
Yeah, right.
Anyone else want to speak? Yes, ma'am?
Teresa Langston, 6031 Lance Street. I just want to say that I think we should give the fire department one shift, whether it be 48 hours, 24 hours, whatever their shift is. They sacrifice a lot for us. They sacrifice a lot of family time. They sacrifice a lot of time with their children. They miss, events for their kids. And what are they doing? They're protecting us. People have medical emergencies, fires. They risk their lives every day. They risk their lives more than the person, collecting the money for the water bill and stuff. And, the regular employees that work 8 hours a day, they get to go home to their families every night. They don't have to worry about running into a burning house to save somebody. They don't have to worry about, performing CPR on somebody to save someone's life or cutting somebody out of a car. I think that a one shift for bereavement is not asking too much to support our fire people.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else want to speak? I'm not seeing anybody. The crowd's gotten pretty thin, so.
Motion to adjourn.
Yep, that's it.